You want to know what's happening this week in football? You've came to the right place. Because we know exactly how every single game will shape up this week. Week 8 in the NFL season. You ready to go, Jake? You ready to
Yeah,
talk?
let's do it.
We've got some good matchups this week. Starting immediately, actually. Thursday night, we've got Green Bay going to Arizona. So let's see. 6-1, 7-0, 13-1. That's above a 90% win rate between these two teams combined. That's pretty good. Forget about the fact that the one loss came on by like 35 points or whatever. But they're still winning 90% of the games between these two teams combined. So tell me what you're thinking headed into this one.
Well, the Packers don't have Devontae Smith, which really sucks for them because they can't scheme him open now to get all of his touchdowns.
You said, I'm sorry. We were talking about this yesterday.
Devontae Adams.
Yes. did it twice.
Sorry. It's just very generic last names. I'm getting them mixed up. But Devontae Adams, they don't have him to scheme open for this game. He's hurt. But I don't think that's I don't think that changes anything. Like we talked about in our recap episode that was posted yesterday. The Packers have been squeaking out games when they should just be crushing teams. And when you're doing that, I don't see you like winning a game against a really good team. And now this is probably like the death kiss for me on Arizona because I've been so reluctant this whole time to like commit to them and be like, yes, Arizona can keep winning. Now that I'm saying that they are going to keep winning against a team like Green Bay, they might lose, but I'm going with the home team here in the Cardinals.
I didn't even think about the fact that now I'm just thinking about this. That franchise guy. These are like his two favorite quarterbacks right here.
Oh yeah,
maybe big matchup for him. Green Bay fan, but Kyler Murray and everything. Yeah, no, I feel pretty similarly. I said it a little while ago, and then I did exactly what I should have not done, and I picked against the one undefeated team in the NFL. Also helps that I'm lower on the Packers than I think most people probably are at this point. I'm still not entirely sold on everything they do. There's just a lot of things that make me question them still. I'd still say there's question marks about nearly every team in the NFL for me, maybe besides Tampa Bay. I feel like they're really the one team that like kind of goes against that grain. But for the time being, Arizona's undefeated. I feel like I need to pick them, and Green Bay has just a few things I'm questioning. So we'll see if Green Bay can pull off the upset, but I'm going with Arizona. They're undefeated, and they're the home team. Really helps them. Short week makes it even more interesting for both these teams, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see how everything goes, and really, it'll really be a great test for Aaron Rodgers, seeing him without Devontae Adams as well. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Next game, we've got Carolina at Atlanta.
Yeah, this is gonna I'm glad I'm going to the Bills game. Because if I was home, watching these games and I had my Sunday ticket up, Red Zone, I would be sick to my stomach if this game came up and I had to watch it. Carolina is proving that they deserve to be in consideration for one of the worst teams, and not one of the worst, but the lower tier teams in the league. Same tier that Atlanta's in. And when I view it that way, I'm gonna go with Atlanta getting the win here just because they're the home team. I view both of these teams very equally in the same plane. Granted, Carolina's secondary is really good, and Atlanta is doing a lot of stuff through the air. But Cordell Patterson and Mike Davis. This could be a good game for Mike Davis here. Revenge game against Mike Davis. Panthers let him walk. He's getting a little revenge on them. So yeah, Mike Davis revenge game. I got the Falcons winning this one.
I love the Mike Davis revenge game because, I've been really disappointed that somehow Cordell Patterson has literally stolen all of the touches from Mike Davis this season, which I didn't think was possible. But no, I feel like exactly the same about this that you do. I feel like these teams are probably pretty even, and based off the overall for the season, what each of these teams have done. When Atlanta's won, they haven't won by much, and they haven't beat solid teams. So I'm really just okay, how do I feel about Carolina? Carolina's won games against okay opponents, and they've won those pretty handedly. So it's okay, each of these teams have won a few games, but it's like I should think about Carolina being better, but because of the fact that their point margins in their victory have been much more impressive. And also the Falcons have gotten beat by like 25 points on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is like Carolina's sliding, and it's like they're on a bad streak right now. And Atlanta's the home team as well. I don't know. Carolina's got to find their footing again before I'm gonna feel very, very like I want to pick them, even if they've got like a decent matchup where they're not outmatched by the opponent they're going against. I'm still going to pick Atlanta here because I'm going to need Carolina to stop streaking in the wrong direction before I go with Carolina again.
Yeah.
Tennessee at Indianapolis.
Yeah, Tennessee isn't favored to win this one, which is crazy.
How?
I mean, it might not be the same in all sports books, but I mean, you and I have kind of agreed, well, not actually agreeing on it, to look at CBS for our odds for these games, and they have Tennessee being like an upset here.
1 point underdogs.
Yeah. And I mean, it's still points, so I'm taking Tennessee to be my upset team here, or one of my upset teams here against Indy. I've seen some people say that this could be a trap game for the Titans, but I'm like thinking they just beat the Bills and the Chiefs. They have their destiny in their hands if they like win out. Yeah. I'm focusing in on every single game, especially against a division rival, but focusing in on this game to try to secure that 1 seed and get that bye, because that 1 seed is the most important thing in football now that 2 doesn't get the bye as well.
Yeah, no, I'm really like, first off, yeah, I don't understand how Tennessee would be an upset beating the Colts, even though they are on the road. Tennessee is one of the hottest teams in football, and like I said, I think they're the hottest team in the AFC. So it's strange to me to think that they would stop streaking, or at least by saying the Colts are favored, you're saying it's more likely that the Colts end their streak than the Titans continue streaking. I'm pretty cool with going with trends normally. So, I'm going to go Tennessee here, but I also want to talk about the Colts again because I feel like I've picked against the Colts like 3 weeks in a row now, and I'm not saying that there's no chance they win this game. I just don't want to pick them because Tennessee's so hot right now. They could absolutely win this game. They've got the talent on their roster to do it, and I just want to point out that I don't think they're out of it at all because I have picked against them 3 weeks in a row, and they keep proving me wrong, but Tennessee beating Kansas City as handedly as they did, I don't think the Colts would be able to do that. So I'm taking the Titans here, but not counting the Colts out. Just want to keep that very clear.
So the last game you picked the Colts was to beat the Titans, correct?
Yes, actually, because the Titans weren't streaking yet at that point, and
I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah. So I mean, it's also like So I mean, that's another good part of this. Like, I've already picked the Colts to beat the Titans once. So even if I'm wrong and the Colts win, like, instead of the Titans winning, I did make it very clear that I don't think the Colts are like out of this game completely.
Yeah.
Miami at Buffalo.
Oh, you know me. We're back at it. Bills back from the bye. We're back at it, baby. Tua. He's been hearing all this stuff circling around. Oh, you're gone. You're gone. They're bringing in someone else. Oh, you're gone. It's time to prove him wrong. Brian Flores has nothing but confidence in his QB. At least that's what he's been saying at his press conference. And how dare I say that he's lying about that? The Bills coming out of their bye a little lackadaisical. I know Sean McDermott has never lost a game out of the bye in his head coaching career. But this week that ends. Miami Dolphins coming to Buffalo. They're going to beat Josh Allen and the Bills in an upset.
The Bills probably have the AFC East on lockdown this year, which guarantees they're a playoff team. The Dolphins have lost to two of literally like the worst teams in the league the past 2 weeks. If they win, okay, but I don't feel like there's much of anything that sends me in any sort of direction to pick the Dolphins. I'm picking the Bills. And actually, I don't think I've picked against the Bills yet this year. Have I? Did I? No, I haven't. I haven't picked against the Bills yet this year. Against the Bills yet. That's okay. I will eventually. We'll get to a point that I do, but
the Tampa Bay game.
I'm really being a homer. Probably. You're probably right. I probably will pick against them for the Tampa Bay game. Cincinnati at the New York Jets.
Oh my God. This game's gonna be gross. I don't know if it's gonna be as much of a throttling as New England gave them, but it's going to be similar. At least I'd assume. Cincinnati's gonna beat the Jets.
I'm just trying to think how wide of a margin would I give Cincinnati in this one? That's what I'm talking about here, because there's no way I'm picking the Jets. There's zero chance I'm picking the Jets. The Jets win this game. Honestly, if the Jets
what's the franchise QB?
If the Jets win this game, that will probably be the most shocked maybe I've ever been by an NFL game. But
it's
usually
the Flacco effect. It's the Flacco effect.
But how much do I want to say Cincinnati's going to win by? That's just what I'm trying to figure out. Let's make it so it's not ridiculous. I'm going to say Cincinnati by 28. So I mean, considering what did they lose by, like 40 last week? 28's not as bad. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh at Cleveland.
Nick Chubb's going to be back. I don't know if Baker's going to be back this week. It doesn't seem like he's going to be. He has been trending in that direction. But I still think Case Keenum can run that offense. And if they're going to have the receivers there, offense is going to be fine. I think Jack Conklin's going to be back. If not this week, then next week. Saw what that offense did against a good Denver defense. I think they beat Pittsburgh.
I'd say that offense put up 17 against Denver. I think Pittsburgh's defense is better than Denver's. This could get
but Ben Roethlisberger's the quarterback of the other team.
I know. This could get screwed up by turnovers. I have to point that out. But my number for Pittsburgh to stay at is 17. If they were at 17 against the Broncos, then I think Pittsburgh's defense is better. It's 1 point. Even if it's just 16 that they get to, that's one less point. My number for Pittsburgh, I've said it all year, 17. 17's right there. They're right on the edge. If they weren't so injured, this would be an easy Cleveland pick. But they're pretty injury ravaged, and I've got to make it slightly clear at some point that I'm a little bit higher on Pittsburgh, like a 5-win team rather than a 3-win team that you have them at. So I'll pick Pittsburgh.
They already got the 3 wins. They can't win another.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm picking Pittsburgh in this game though, because of that 17-point mark thing.
I understand.
Okay. You understand? You're not supposed to say that when we talk about Pittsburgh. Okay.
No, I don't understand. What are you doing, my brain?
Okay, Philadelphia at Detroit.
That's the second grunt that I've had to make about a game. I think
you kidding? I enjoy watching both these teams, so screw you.
I do enjoy watching both these teams. I'm not having Miles Sanders a little bit of a downer because Philly's not going to be operating at maximum Sirianni. But Boston Scott, he might have a good outing. I think Detroit picks up their first win in this game. I really do. And it's funny that they're home underdogs.
Can I just stop you for a second? How many weeks this year have you now said I think Detroit picks up their first win in this?
This is the fourth. I think this is the fourth week that I've said that.
Okay.
But I do think it happens. Philly, I don't know. Getting rid of Flacco, that means that Minshew's going to be standing on the sidelines now, suited up. I don't know how quick of a trigger they're going to have on Jalen Hurts to get rid of him, but
I'd say that's unlikely.
I do too, but just him standing on the sideline now, suited up with pads. That's the one thing where I'm just like, when the going gets tough, I don't know what Sirianni's gonna do.
Yeah, I think they'd have to be down big before that would be considered. And I don't think that Detroit's going to have any chance of running away this game. With that being said, I do agree with what you said from our recap show in that Detroit eventually needs to get a win. And I am hoping for them. I am very, very much hoping that that this is the one they can get. Because if this one slips by, that's what I was talking about with you before. I really didn't get to explain myself. If this one gets by them, I'm really going to be nervous about them even getting one win. But if they can pull this one out, this is the one this is the game so far out of this will be their 8th game. This is out of the 8 games that they will have played after this one. This is the one I feel like they have the best chance in. Just in general. That doesn't mean that they're gonna win, but yeah, I'm picking Detroit in this one. And they're the home team, so that helps them too. So hopefully that can maybe get them a little bit of momentum. And I actually didn't mention last game, since I was picking Pittsburgh over Cleveland. That was an upset. Detroit over Philadelphia, also an upset. Yes, so I got 3 upsets already.
At home underdog for Detroit. A little weird.
Yeah, when you're 0-7, it's really weird to be a home underdog.
I guess Philly.
Yeah. Just like the next game, it's really weird that the Texans are home underdogs against the Rams.
Never be a home underdog. Yeah, I think the Rams are just gonna steamroll them. I don't really think I can provide much better analysis than that.
Rams, how did they get so lucky with this stretch in their schedule? Giants, Lions, Texans, schedule makers. How did the Rams? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get how the Rams can get to the divisional round of the playoffs last year and just have that luck fall into their lap, but whatever.
I don't disagree. I've seen this statement flying around. I don't disagree with it that the Rams are one of the best teams in football. I don't disagree with that, but after the last 3 weeks, I'm like, how can you make a statement like that when like these games have been handed to them before they even start?
Yeah, no, like the last 3, I'm already including this week's game in this. Probably shouldn't do that, but I mean, these 3 weeks, unless they lose a game, these weeks mean nothing. Like, it doesn't change anybody's opinions of the Rams at all. So, no, I mean, yeah, I'm going with the Rams, but it's pretty stupid.
The opinion of the Rams has like remained the same since they beat the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
nothing's changed.
No, not at all. And I think we can pretty easily move on to the next game, which is probably this is like the illegal use of hands to the face disappointment game of the year. Very, very, just fun. So please tell me what you're thinking heading into San Francisco at Chicago.
What I'm thinking is, geez. Really hope Trey Lance is starting QB for the Niners in this one, because then it's a fun game. Justin Fields, Trey Lance going toe-to-toe. 2 really good defenses going against a rookie QB. Two good defenses.
2 defenses that should be really good but aren't.
Two defenses, one with Nick Bosa, one with Khalil Mack.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Going against a rookie QB. I mean, yeah, it'd be a fun game if, like, these teams aren't imploding, but it seems like they both are. Like, if I hear another report of Matt Nagy sabotaging Justin Fields, I might have to make a trip to Chicago and pay Nagy a little visit. But no, we both out of the gate had some high expectations for these teams, and they have not lived up to them. I'm going with Chicago here, another home underdog. I really, really want to believe Justin Fields can pull one out, and like against all odds, by all odds, I mean against the guy that's calling the plays for him, still win a game, which he has. But like, this is a good like middle of the road team that I think if he beats him, people will be like, oh, okay, Justin Fields is like not terrible, which I think a lot of people have just like turned to now as like a popular take of like Justin Fields is bad.
I mean, how many points have the Bears been averaging in the last like 3 games?
think like 12 or 13, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty hard to pick the team doing that on a weekly basis. That's my
I,
only reason to
me,
push against
my
it.
love for Justin Fields is probably blinding me a lot more. But
I hope it. I hope you're right. I hope Justin Fields throws for 700 yards in this game. But I don't think that's going to be happening based off what we've seen the past 3 weeks, especially, like you said, if the coach is helping him play even worse, if the coach is
helping him play worse.
actively participating in making him a worse quarterback. I don't feel like the coach does that on the other team, even though the team is not playing to its highest level. I don't feel like the other coach is doing that to his team. But on the same hand, they've allowed more points than I've expected them to this season, especially like 30 against the Colts. 30 is a pretty high number, especially in the rain. It's not great. But, it, it'll be really interesting. That's basically all I can say about it because I'm picking San Fran, but just because Chicago's been more disappointing than San Francisco, but that is really not a great reason to be picking a team because they've been less disappointing than another team. That really does not inspire confidence, obviously.
Yeah, no, and I get that. I mean, San Fran is probably the smarter choice too. I mean, I wanted to get another upset in. I feel like it's possible for Chicago to beat them. So
Yeah, it's possible. It's not like picking Houston over LA or the Jets over Cincinnati or anything like that. Next game, our game of the year, the game we've been waiting all year for, and boy oh boy, two weeks ago, I think we would both pick the Chargers in a heartbeat. Then the Chargers went to Baltimore and got absolutely waxed, and now the following week, Baltimore gets waxed by Cincinnati. And the Patriots just came off one of the biggest point margin victories of the season in the NFL, possibly the biggest point margin victory by a team in the NFL this season. I don't know exactly the score to every game so far, but tell me what you're thinking.
you're saying 2 weeks ago in a heartbeat we both would have picked the Chargers. Well, I know for a fact in a heartbeat I'm still picking the Chargers here. I've been picking the Chargers in this game since April. I really like what that offense can do. I don't know if the Patriots have enough playmakers to capitalize on Justin Herbert's mistakes if he's playing at the highest level, because he obviously was not playing at like his highest caliber when he was going against Baltimore. And I mean, it's fine to have bad games once in a while, but you have to make sure it's once in a while. You cannot compound those bad games and have them be back to back, especially coming out of a bye week like they are. I mean, you've had the extra week of preparation. Mac Jones, rookie QB, still got Joey Bosa. That defense is not great. They could probably still just run it down their throat, but quick score offense. That's what the Chargers do, and I think that's what's going to help them win this football game. So give me the Chargers.
Yeah, no, I don't know who I actually want to pick, but I've really been inspired about the past 2 weeks. Which direction I can go. I can go with what I've said all off season, which is nice. I don't feel like a complete idiot for doing it, but since it doesn't seem ridiculous to pick the team that I've been picking all off season, I'm gonna stick with them and I'm gonna go with New England just because if I changed it, like I said, I would have changed it 2 weeks ago. I'm really glad that we've had the last 2 weeks leading into this to give me the opportunity to be reinvigorated with one team and just slightly down on the other, so that I feel like it's an even matchup. And honestly, I feel like the coaching wise, Brandon Staley, with how young he is, it probably just makes it equivalent to Bill Belichick having 1 week to prepare for the Chargers.
Shut up. Brandon Staley's awesome. I didn't expect him to be like as popular as he is now with all of his press conferences. They're just getting clipped and posted all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, he is, but we'll see.
He's the Sean McVay of defense.
Unless the other team runs the ball. Okay. Next game up, Jacksonville at Seattle. Also, by the way, that's another upset for me.
Jacksonville at Seattle. I mean, Geno Smith, awesome, bro. You're finally going to get a win as a starter. It's been a long time coming, pal. It's been a long time coming. I don't think he's gotten a win as a starter since he was with the Jets. So yeah, it can happen this week. I really do think it can. More than possible not. Though the Shaquille Griffin revenge game can take place and he could finish with like 3 pick sixes. I don't think that's likely. If they were going to Jacksonville, I think it would be a harder decision for me. But having to go to Seattle against the 12s and deal with that, that might be a little too much for Trevor Lawrence being a rookie and everything, and also just like all the youth on that team, like defensive line for the Jags as well. They might jump off sides a lot. So, and also Urban Meyer has just been a disappointment as head coach. And even if I'm saying like Pete Carroll's ancient compared to Urban Meyer, but they're like 4 years apart. So, never mind with that. Yeah, give me Seattle though in this one.
So Seattle's played their 3 primetime games in a row, right? And now this one's finally off the streak of them playing their primetime games. So they played a Thursday night game, right? That was the first game in the stretch of these night games, right? Then they played a Sunday night game last week, and then they played a Monday night game this week. I don't think there's any reason that every player on the Jacksonville roster probably didn't watch all of those games live. And then also, they just came off a bye last week and had 2 weeks to prep for these guys. Seattle has not looked impressive with Geno Smith as their quarterback. And Jacksonville got their first win, which was like huge monkey off their back. I think all those things push towards helping out Jacksonville a lot. And though I wouldn't say it's nearly a guarantee, I am going to pick Jacksonville to upset Seattle in this game.
Okay. So who's going to be covering DK Metcalf for the Jags?
Obviously Shaquille Griffin.
Okay, who's going to be covering Tyler Lockett then?
Doesn't matter. We're not worried about that at all. Geno Smith still got to throw him the football, doesn't he?
Yeah, you're right.
Who was shutting him down Monday night? Like Paulson Adebo?
Yeah, Bradley Roby.
Like, okay. I feel like there's some guy in the Jags secondary that's at least that talented. That's not named Shaquille Griffin. But yeah. No, you're right. There's not a ton of guys back there.
They did have a guy. His name's CJ Henderson. They traded him.
Yeah. Still, Carolina's still looking very strange with how they've rebuilt their secondary. Just very, very strange. But yeah, I'm going with them, and I guess we can move on to the next game. Tampa Bay at New Orleans.
Yeah, well, New Orleans won last week, so that means that they can't win this week, at least if it applies to what we've seen. And also, they're going against Tampa Bay. The only real benefit for them is they're playing in the Superdome. And I mean, Brady lost to the Saints 2 times last season.
Okay.
But I mean,
but won last time he played in the Superdome.
Yeah, but won the last time he played in the Superdome. But also, Drew Brees was the QB for those teams. Yeah, I think not only does that defense just harass Jameis the whole game, but Brady just tears the Saints defense apart too, and they just keep rolling.
Bucks are rolling. It's the Saints down week. It's a pretty easy TB pick here. So that's it. Washington at Denver.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that Denver is favored in this one. That was wild for me to see. I think they're like a one point favorite. But still,
I'm just realizing. I highly doubt that you lock Washington, which I feel like that guarantees means you lock Dallas. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, looking at this, just Denver has not looked good since their 3 straight wins. I don't think they will look good for the rest of the season. Their QB situation is horrid. Uh, I mean, Teddy has not been Teddy, and I think if Teddy played like prime Teddy Bridgewater football, this team would actually be good. But he hasn't.
Maybe.
He's like played Drew Lock level football, and the only reason you brought Teddy Bridgewater in is so he wouldn't turn the ball over, and he's just been turning the ball over. So yeah, give me Washington. I still think like it's a Denver's bad offense going up against Washington's like bad to mediocre defense, and then Washington's mediocre offense going against Denver's good defense. I'm gonna take Heineke, I guess. Take the better QB.
Yeah. No, after Heineke diving into the end zone last week with no reason to dive into the end zone to make himself 1 yard short so that the Washington football team can't score a touchdown, there's not nearly another team that could be as incompetent as that. The Denver Broncos have not impressed me at all this season, but neither of these teams have. Washington's been even worse in terms of how poorly I thought they've looked, how poor I thought they played, really. And just Denver is at least showing some competence. And I think they'll be able to put up more than 14 points because Washington's defense has looked so bad, and they put up 14 against the Browns, which I think is still a tough defense. And I don't think Washington's gonna keep up with them. I'm picking Denver, and I'm locking Denver this week.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Dallas at Minnesota. I guess you could lock the Chiefs too. I mean, I just don't feel like with where the Chiefs have been headed, like you'd want to lock the Chiefs. So like I feel like it has to be Dallas. If you lock the Chiefs though, like props to you for watching the Chiefs and then being like I'm locking the Chiefs, but I don't know.
Well, my lock is in this game.
Yeah, you can mess with me. Yeah, really.
This is gonna be a thriller because the Vikings are playing in it. I mean, there's no other reason than that. Like, Dallas has been on a roll in their past handful of games. Dak has looked really good. The two-headed monster backfield of Zeke and Tony Pollard, which I love whenever the announcer's like, yeah, this dual backfield. I'm like, uh-huh. One of those guys is the highest paid running back in the NFL. The other's Tony Pollard.
Who's better?
Who's better? It's like, yeah, look at the money between these two running backs. It's like, uh-huh. Yep, one of those is on a like rookie minimum contract.
One of those guys is getting 90% of that money. Maybe 95. I don't even know.
One of those guys is getting like 20% of the cap. Yeah. Dallas has looked really good, but Minnesota's kept every single one of their games close. Kirk Cousins, he's looked great in flashes, but he's also been like mind-boggling, head-scratching, just terrible in others. Justin Jefferson hasn't lived up to expectations either, which is a little wild.
Jeez, I'm just realizing. We crapped on the Vikings for losing to Cincinnati and Arizona at the beginning of the season. Are we realizing that like two of their losses came against two of the best teams in football now?
Yeah, but then they played Carolina to overtime.
Yeah, but we knew they were going to keep all these games close. But they're winning the ones that they should win.
The thing with that is keeping a game against Arizona and Cincinnati close is awesome. That is awesome that you did that. Playing a game to keep it close against Carolina is terrible.
Well, Carolina did need like 14 points in the last 2 minutes of the game or something stupid to go to OT, but yeah, I know.
Yeah, but Minnesota does have a fantastic home field advantage here. And with that being said, I'm locking Dallas.
I was gonna say, no way. There's no way. I felt like this week I was having a ton of fun with my picks. And I was really enjoying the teams I was picking, like feeling like I'm going to root for the teams I'm picking this week, and I'm going to feel like happy about rooting for them. Like unlike last week where I wasn't willing to pick Cincinnati. I want to do it this week, so I want to pick the teams that I like. I don't think that, like we've said, every game Minnesota plays is going to be close. So, I mean, I have no worry that there's going to be a chance for Minnesota to win this game at the end. Are they actually going to win it? I mean, like, I'd probably favor Dallas in this one, but don't worry about that. I've been on the Minnesota hype wagon all season, and actually just realizing now that 2 of their losses came to those 2 teams early in the season when I was thinking, like, geez, like early in the season when I still wasn't high on either of them, and I was like, geez, you lost to Cincinnati and Arizona, like, come on, Minnesota. But now knowing where Cincinnati and Arizona sit after the 7th week of the NFL season, maybe I shouldn't be too worried about it, and maybe I should actually be even more impressed with what Minnesota's done so far. On the other hand, Dallas has also looked great, so that may not be an amazing comparison. But I am really excited for this game, and I have to say I'm really excited about the fact that it looks like there's a Thursday night game that I'm super excited for. There's the Sunday 1 p.m. game that I'm super excited for because the Bills are playing in it. There's the New England at LAC game, which I'm super excited for. There's this game, which I'm super excited for. And then there's one of the worst teams in the league going against one of the like just messes of a team in the NFL now too. So
you really missed an opportunity to make a good joke there.
Ooh, tell me.
You said, and then on Monday night we got one of the worst teams in the league going up
against the Giants. yeah, I could have said that. No, but I'm really actually interested in every single window of this week of the NFL season, which I can't say normally. Because like I said, I usually have Red Zone on, but this weekend I don't think I'll need to do that at all. I think there will literally be one game that I'm always focused in every window, and I'm super excited for it. But with all that being said, we're still supposed to be talking about Dallas at Minnesota. So I'm picking Minnesota to upset Dallas in this too. So actually, I have 6 upsets this week, and if I pick the Giants, it'll be 7. But I'm probably not going to pick the Giants. Yeah. So that's where I'll leave that with Minnesota. Tell me about the Monday Night Football matchup between the New York Giants and that they are heading to play in Arrowhead Stadium against the Kansas City Chiefs. What are you thinking?
This game over the past couple weeks has become less and less gross. I remember when you and I first looked at the schedule and we talked about every single primetime game, and when we got to this one, we like both groaned and we're like, really? And it's also because the Giants played Tampa Bay in primetime too.
Yeah, it's like, why?
It's just why? But this game is slowly become a little more interesting as Kansas City has like gotten worse, it seems. I don't want to say worse.
The Giants will always do interesting stuff too, like
and
throw the ball to Daniel Jones.
I mean, they have playmakers. Kadarius Toney's back, and if I could just watch Kadarius Toney cook that secondary the whole game.
He's questionable.
I
hope he's back.
He's the only receiver that they'll have then, because Galladay might be. They could get all their guys back.
Yeah, all of them back. They could have none of them.
Yeah, it's the real big thing, and I mean that's not going to influence my choice on the. I'm picking Kansas City to win this, but yeah, I mean that could sway some people if you really, really are like not feeling Kansas City. The Giants having either all or none of their skill position players is like a big question mark for this game. And it might even influence it. I mean, it could be a way closer game than what I'm picturing in my head, if they have those guys. But, I mean, I said this in our recap for yesterday. If Danny Dimes can carry this team, I mean, the Giants might have their franchise QB. I don't know about head coach. They might have the franchise QB now. And this is a good game for him to prove it. I mean, that defense isn't that good, Daniel. Defense isn't that good.
No. Like you said, before the season, we complained about this game happening. Happy the Chiefs are sliding to make it a lot more interesting. But that Tampa Bay game down the road for the Giants, that still is going to be absolutely probably miserable to have as a primetime game. I'm picking Kansas City. Uh, I don't know. They've proved more in the past. Let's see. Like I said though, I'm still really interested in it. I want to see if they can stop their slide. There's a chance that the Giants run away with this game, and if the Giants run away with a game from against Kansas City, okay, then all the alarm bells will definitely be sounding. Kansas City losing by a big margin to good teams, or just losing to good teams in general, that's one thing. They play against the New York Giants as the home team and lose by a big margin. Then it's time to sound all the alarms and actually
and to blow it up.
What's going on? Yeah. No, I don't know. All right. So we have to conclude with our weekly question that I almost forgot once, but very important question to ask. What is going to make you look stupid this week?
Trevon Diggs does not pull through.
Oh, man. What am I looking for here? The thing that I look at and say most likely to make me look stupid is probably... Ooh. I have 6 upsets, so it's not like I was forced this week to have some upsets that I was just like ridiculous about, like I didn't believe could happen. So those are usually the ones I look to and say, okay, I'm forced to like go with a team here, so that's what's gonna make me look stupid. But I actually feel like all these teams can upset in these games, but I'm still probably gonna be looking at those. I guess the 2 places I would look is if Indianapolis really should be favored in that game, and then the Titans have one of their down weeks, which we know they can have. Even though they're streaking now, they could have a down week. And then Pittsburgh going to Cleveland. I think, obviously, Cleveland's still a good team, and they could definitely still handle Pittsburgh if this situation plays out well for them. So that's what I got. Those are the 2 things that I'm thinking of. But really, Trevon Diggs is the only reason that the Cowboys may lose to the Vikings.
I mean that, and I really want him to have this campaign to win MVP. As a defensive player. Bro, if you finish the season with 20 picks,
I don't know. I really still don't know if that. I feel like
letting up 3,000 yards, that really does hurt your case. But 20 picks.
I don't know. I don't think that like. Yeah, that's tough for me. I don't know if they'd be willing to do that still. I'm sorry.
They'd be more likely to give the MVP to Derrick Henry than they would to a defensive player.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if the defensive player had 20 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to ruin your dream.
No, and also just Trevon Diggs as a whole for that game, because he could let up like a bunch of touchdowns to Justin Jefferson or Thielen. But if he gets a pick 6 to make up for it, I mean, I think the Cowboys won that one.
Okay. Alrighty. Sounds good. You all set?
Yeah, I think we can cut this here.